y'all. Hey, we are live. We are live. Y'all see my intro?
That was so cute.
I like that.
So
I
cute.
really like that. That was cute. I'm period. Okay,
looking good.
we
Come
right.
on, podcast.
Man, listen. Shout out to Tone. I don't know where the claps are right here.
Oh, that's the sound effect.
We just go. That's how I feel. So hey,
go, Shorty.
And the period. Hello. It is what is today? June the. It's not the 4th.
Is it?
It's the 3rd.
The 3rd.
It's the 3rd.
Oh, it is the 3rd.
Today is June the 3rd. It is summer. It is officially, well, not officially summertime, but I think it's like it's almost there. Officially summertime. Y'all know what happens in the summertime. Things get hot. Things get nice.
Turn up.
You know what they say, women start dressing less.
Nope.
You know, it's sundress season. I got my favorite dress on today. I absolutely love this dress. However, so with that being said, there's a lot of talk around this particular time in regards to rosters. There is a lot of talk about building a roster. Now, when we talk about building a roster, let me see. When we talk about building a roster, we want to talk about, or let me see, what are we talking about when we talking about building a roster? The anticipation is that when the season, I guess you can call it, you know, like with Bridgerton, I guess summer is the season, right. You know, yeah. And so, you know, when you narrow down that roster, and I guess, you know, it's supposed to be this, I'm going to have a relationship, you know, one of these people, whether it be men or women, we're going to have this relationship, and that's what it's going to end up being. Sometimes I think it's done right, and sometimes I think it's done wrong. Who knows? I think I may have done it right. I may have done it wrong sometime, because at the end of the day, you know, I am still single. Tiff, what you think about building a roster?
So, okay, you know how we talk about dating multiple people, you know, that's often a conversation that we have. And I think that people don't really understand what that means, or the dynamic of that, really. You know what I mean? So when you build your roster, you know, the roster, they don't even have to know about each other.
Right.
You know, and you can have multiple people that you are entertaining, that you are piquing their interest, you know, just enjoying yourself, enjoying your time with people, making friends, mingling with people, and seeing your compatibility with them.
Right. And I think that's what it should be. It definitely should be a time when you are, because I think that, well, let's talk about dating. Okay. Let's talk about dating. Let's do that first. Because I think that a lot of times in society, or even not just with society, but I think with us, you know, in our community, we really don't know how to date. We really don't know how to date. I think that, you know, there's been not too many dates. You know, I've been, oh, I'm gonna take you on a date. I'm still waiting on those dates. Still waiting, you know. But I think that it's from both sides. Number one, how do you feel? And we talk about this a lot. Like when it comes down to who should shoot the shot.
Come on.
Because we just recently kind of had a conversation in regards to that, and we wanted to know, and I be wanting to have guys on, and I think that sometimes the guys, they don't want to come on, but they want to, you know, so I tagged them. You know, I tagged a couple of fellas, you know, because I do want to get a male's perspective. Like, I like hearing from males. So like when I have my, you know, I want to have a Father's Day show. When I have my Father's Day show, I want to get some men. Like, I don't want no women. But anyway, but what do you think about first off, who should shoot the shot? Hey, Jazz.
Okay, so I do not believe in women shooting shots. I have said that I've stated my stance on this. I do not believe in women shooting shots. Now we can show we're interested, right? There's an art and a science to kind of like maybe kind of let them know they're interested. But if they don't pick it up, you know what I mean? That's too bad. But
okay,
I feel like women shooting the shots, like letting a guy know, hey, I'm interested, I like you. That's dangerous for the dynamic of the relationship. I feel like because the man is supposed to be the pursuer. I feel like he's supposed to see what he wants and then he puts in the energy to go get it. And that sets up the dynamic of the relationship, how they spoil us, how they cater to us during the relationship. When we go after them, I feel like personally, they're just agreeing to
just because they don't want to hurt you.
Exactly. That's how I feel about that.
Well, I mean, okay, so this is my take on it. Because then I've said this multiple times. I have no problem with showing my interest. I have no problem with saying to a man, hey, I think you nice looking. I think you sexy. Whichever way I want to come at that man. I have no problem with doing that. And I don't think that it takes away from their role or their their dominance in said whatever it is that that's going to take place afterwards. Because for me, I shoot it and then I sit back and because I think that regardless if you're showing your interest or shooting a shot, it's really the same thing when you look at it, because that man per se. So here's the thing. If I say I'm interested in you, that man either has a yes or no. I'm a big girl. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's never I've never tanked. I don't know if that's the word, but I've never shot a brick. But I haven't done it very often. I'll say that too. Like I'm not just out here like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like you, boy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very careful in what shot I take. I'm always, it's always calculated. Because if I shoot my shot, that means that I felt that there was something. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
So that's what I was just gonna ask. So are you more likely to shoot a shot if you feel like he's kind of flirty a little bit already? Or would you shoot a cold shot? Like, dang, he cute.
Man, if the man is fine, I don't know. I really like I don't.
Do they already?
I don't know. That's kind of crazy. I don't know because I really I think if they look at me,
they kind of like, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's like, and it's not that in a conceited way. It's just that I know, what I exude.
Okay.
So and I know that, but then again, I would be probably a little shy. I am, just a little shy. Like I said, I shoot my shot and then I sit back and I watch, and if there's a mutual interest, then I continue on. I don't have a problem with letting someone know, I'm thinking about you, but then there's also that time point where I'm like, oh, it's been, and I never want to get to that point again. Where I'm like, it's been 2 hours and you ain't text me back, and why you ain't text me back? Like, I never want to get to that point again, because then I feel like I'm wasting too much of my time worried about what somebody else is doing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So then after you've shot your shot, and we got a couple people watching, if you can definitely chime in. I definitely welcome it. But when we talk about, and you said something also, with asserting the dominance and the spoiling and things like that. So that goes twofold though. So are you not going to, because there are some women also that say, I'm not spending money on a man. You know, I'm not doing anything for a man. There was a question in regards to whether you would send, like I've been seeing this floating around, whether you would send a guy money for a haircut.
See those. So no, it's not really like, see, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm like this because I've been in positions where maybe I didn't make the first move and maybe they were gauging, you know, the vibe, and perhaps there wasn't a compatibility or whatever, but maybe they continue to entertain, right? And so I'm the type to where, okay, I have to be careful because I love so much, and I love to take care of people, and I love to just give and whatever. I have to make sure that this person deserves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's not necessarily as cut and dry as, okay, you got to give me something and I'm gonna give you something. It's not really like that. But if I can, because see, when I really like them, look, it takes everything in me not to be bringing lunch to your job and all kind of stuff.
And, and I think that is the problem. That is the hurdle when it comes down to, you know, and I don't want to, you know, separate it and just say, you know, that is the problem with women or that is the problem with men, because I think that a lot of us are so hurt and we've been through so much to where we literally are, everybody's has these brick walls that's just built. So, you know, you could just think of, you know, men and women standing in line, and in between that line of them, there's a brick wall. And that is literally what dating feels like. That is literally what being with someone feels like. It feels like a brick wall that you're trying to literally just get over. And it's like, you know, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do too much.
Right.
You know, I don't want to do too much too soon. And then it's like, I want to, and then it's like, I want to make sure that he likes me like that, you know? And it's like, why are we like this?
We're so guarded. And I think it comes from dealing with the wrong people too, you know, because a lot of times when we want that love or we want that, you know, reciprocation so bad, it's like we attach ourselves to people to where, you know, this isn't even the person that is that we're supposed to be aligned with, you know. And you hear a lot of people who have this negative viewpoint on love, but they've never even been in love. So love didn't hurt you technically, you know. So they're running from something that is not. So we have these guards up from our past experiences, and we have these, you know, perspectives and these vantage points that have been built from an alternative, you know, aspect. Like this wasn't even what was, you know, this wasn't even love in the first place.
Right. And you know, that's something interesting that you did say when you said that you haven't even been in love, you know. And I think part of that is reality TV, you know, to blame. I think that you know, we look at a lot of reality TV, we look at a lot of social media, and you have a lot of people that are saying, if you do this, you a simp. Or women, if you do this for a man, you weak, or you stupid, or, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody that's literally just saying, you know, I'm just going to do me. You know, I'm gonna, you know, if I like this person, I'm gonna like this person. You know, I could like a person and, you know, I'm the same way as you, where, you know, I listen, I am, if I like you,
listen, you got to hold me back.
Yeah, you got to hold me back. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, and that is definitely the you have to be careful. And you know, I saw something else today where it said, we just a bunch, everybody just out here just hurt, and hurt people is just hurting people all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when, you know, when we think about the roster, or, you know, who we're dealing with, or who we have to make sure that we're setting expectations. And I think that this is, a lot of people will laugh and they'll be like, oh, you talking about rosters and this is red flag. And it's like, no, it's not a red flag. Because there are really some people that are out here that are really interested in finding somebody for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I once, and I was just talking to Tone about this. Like, I once felt a certain way as, do I really want a relationship right now? I don't think I want a relationship per se.
Okay.
However, I would love, just the, and I can't say the word. I'm like halfway, like slow. Exclusivity. Exclusivity. Sometimes if I don't think about it, I could just say it. But anyway. Hey, Tan. But like, I think that I would love that. You know what I'm saying? I would love to know that there's somebody that you really, regardless of a relationship or a title, you really don't have any eyes for anybody else. And you're not just trying to stick your penis anywhere.
Oh my.
What?
I just said, oh my.
I'm just saying, because I'm not trying to throw this thing back everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
It's because it's dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
It's dangerous.
It's energy exchange. You can't just, and everybody don't deserve you. Everybody don't deserve a piece of you.
Exactly. Exactly. And then my thing is that, just like I had somebody tell me, oh, I know my worth. And I sat and I looked at them and I said, and then I had to think about it and I said, well, I know mine. And I know where the value, and I know that that's like kind of hard. Like you like, oh, well, what is you worth? Well, how much is you? Still ain't got nothing. What is you worth? What is your value? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you shouldn't put a value on you, or whatever the case may be. And I don't think it's more so about you putting a dollar amount or a value, or even when people say, oh, what do you bring to the table? I don't necessarily like that.
I don't think nobody does.
I
don't think nobody does.
Yeah. And I think people just say it just to be saying it. You know what I'm saying? Just because, again, it's that thing.
Yeah, buzzword.
It's the buzzword. Mm-hmm. It's the trend word. Just like everybody's saying, oh, this person is a narcissist.
Toxic.
Toxic and, all of that type of stuff. When at the end of the day, I mean, we kind of put ourselves in those toxic situations.
We do. We definitely do. Or we stay too long.
Yes.
We definitely do.
Yes. We stay too long. And then I think, okay, so, and I put up a post and I said, let me go back to this because I want to talk about it. Like that's one of the things that I really wanted to talk about. And I said that I put up boundaries. Hold on. It says, and I get this from the I Am Affirmations app. And it says, I enforce boundaries gently but firmly. I like that. And somebody said, and I captioned it and I said, because I'm a lady, I don't feel that as a woman that I have to be so hard in saying, leave me alone, or that I have to be so hard in enforcing my boundaries. Somebody said, well, people don't take you being nice. And my response, and I was busy, I had a busy work day or whatever. And I kept typing and I'm like, oh, but I'm supposed to be working, but I'm supposed to be working. But my response to that was, if you're setting boundaries and you get to the point where somebody is not respecting the boundary that you've set, I think you really have to sit and think about, am I actually respecting my own boundaries?
Exactly. Because it's like you can't make yourself unhappy to make someone else happy. Mm-hmm. So if you're crossing your own boundaries to make someone else happy, you're ultimately disrespecting yourself. Mm-hmm. Which, and if you can't respect yourself, mm-hmm. then you can't respect other people. It goes hand in hand.
Exactly. And I think that as you Because anybody that I've really had to firmly set a boundary with, it did not have to get nasty. Well, I did. You know what? There was one person that I kind of had to get nasty with. But that was because he kind of interrupted my space where my children are. So in that moment,
mother bear mode.
That's that don't get it twisted side. Don't come to my house. Don't come where I reside. Don't try to step foot in my house. Right. Where my kids are, like that type of thing. I don't play. I don't play games like that. But I think every other time that I really had to set boundaries, it's because then at that point it's up to you. It's not up to that person, because if I decide I'm gonna stop dealing with Tone, and we friends. Let me just make that clear, because Lord have mercy, the good child. I knew it. You ain't no shit.
We be the last two people you would assume, first of all.
But if I decide that I didn't want to deal with Tone no more for whatever reason, and I'm steady like, he need to leave me alone, he need to well, you didn't set the boundary right. You see what I'm saying? You didn't set the boundary right. You're still answering his calls. You're still texting him. You probably even going over for a little melee and get cracked. Who knows?
Oh my.
And that's something that we do. Like I tend to do that sometimes. That is my toxic trait. I will. One more time. One more for the go round. Just so that you can know that you wasn't really done.
See, I had to.
That's childish. I'm working on myself.
I used to do that too, so don't feel bad.
Where I had to stop. I had to cut people off. I had a problem with, cutting off my exes. I'll be real. So like we break up, okay, and my breakups were never malicious. It was never like, oh, you did this, the unforgivable, and now we can never speak again. It was always like, okay, we probably just shouldn't be together. We're not really
right,
so but we had some good times, so we still cool or whatever. And then it was like, we still cool, we still link every once in a while for whatever. And and so I got to a point probably within the last maybe 6 to 7 months where I was like, I need to cut these people off. Like the energy became very draining. I felt like I was holding on to people that I should have let go. I feel like just holding on to just old memories and old stuff and old energy. It was just, and then you can't figure out why you can't move forward and why you can't meet new people and why you can't elevate, and you just hold on to all these old people and all this old, stuff. And so it just became really junky. And I had to realize like, okay, you know what? Let go of these people. Learn how to cut people off. Respectfully. You're still cordial. If you see them somewhere, it's hello.
It's no drama.
Exactly. But I had to get to a point where I stopped giving my for real energy to people who it should be done, And
you know what? And that is so
common, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It is. It's very common. There are a lot of people right now who are